Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the town hall meeting for Senator Abraham Darius Dillon is about to start, and we will be going, and he will be switching in a minute. You can see the senator is the president for the Liberian Association in Michigan. Yeah, Mr. Koba, well respected official of the Liberian Association in Michigan. They are all here. The senator is here and will be answering questions in a minute. Thank you. The president for the Liberian Association in Michigan, Mr. Sanson Koba. The Liberian are gathering to say welcome to their senator, the people's senator of Montserrat County. Liberian are excited to see the senator in Detroit, Michigan. This is the Liberian Association owned property. The hall is owned by the Liberian Association in Michigan. So we will be going to the event in a minute. Speaking to you, this is the Liberian Association property paid for by the Liberians in Michigan. So you can see this is the chief, the man behind the mayor, the man who making sure that everything is well taken care of. The senator is being introduced by people around the world. Yeah, Mr. Mike, how you doing?
Oh, wonderful.
I mean,
here to celebrate our senator.
How do you feel about? I want to say thank you very much for your hard work, and I work with you throughout the process. But you extremely well respected in this country, among Liberian in Detroit, Michigan, and around the world. Those of us that know you, we respect you a lot. What do you make of the senator visit to Detroit, Michigan, and the United States?
Well, the senator is embarking upon a thank you tour. Today, we are very happy to have hosted the senator on his first leg of his U.S. tour. So thank you a whole lot, and we expect the senator. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, the people are coming in. You are seeing people from all walks of life. You guys will be seeing. I see people from Japan, China, Germany, Australia, Liberia, and here. And speaking to you live is the man who, Octavius Gilmer from the TSA International Talk Show. I will be bringing it to you live from. So you know the senator is well protected. I gotta be in a photo. I gotta be in the photo. I can't just be taking the photo. I gotta be in the photo also. So now, okay.
No,
the senator is somebody who is very, very, very low key. The senator is here. He meeting his people.
You know something? I just knew that my family here was taking. How you doing?
So The Liberian will be asking questions. We will also be raising funds for the project that the senator about to undertake or will be undertaking in Monrovia, Liberia. I mean, it cannot get better than this. So you can see the senator is going around, shaking hands, meeting Liberians from Detroit, Michigan. Yeah.
Hey guys. How you doing, sir?
The senator is going around meeting, paying a visit, shaking hands with Liberians in the United States from Detroit, Michigan. So I just want you guys to know that there is the people's senator. Yes, you see that the senator said he won't get fired away from the people. You see, he helping. The senator is helping to arrange things. Yes, that tell you right there, the man is the people's senator. You can see him working. He ain't want nobody help. Yeah, you see it? He bringing his own chair. The senator ain't want yet no story. Yeah. Nobody helping him with his jacket, nothing. Taking his own jacket off, putting it on the ground. Yeah. He want, yeah. And now your other senator then y'all want the senator will take off jacket. Is the president for the Liberian Association in Michigan, Mr. Samson Koba. And also you got the Basso Association president. Also there, Mr. Toe. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will be bringing this to you live as we go about.
I will have the local my office.
Thank you.
We have one we can make some copies.
We got some great men in the house here. Speaking to you is Octavius Gilman from the TSA International Talk Show.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I would like at this time to welcome you all to this town hall meeting with Senator Darius Dillon. Senator Dillon, normally in our community.
Men, speak up.
Good afternoon, everybody.
I was wondering what are something talking.
Yeah, take time. Okay. Honorable Dillon, normally in our community, or before I go that far, welcome to our Liberian Community Center. This is where we call our home away from home. Normally what we do when we have honorables from Liberia visit Michigan, we invite them to a town hall meeting so that they can explain to us some of the developments in Liberia, their position, and what they think of it. So we'd like at this time to welcome you here, along with all of our members. Before we go further, I would like to introduce some of our members, officers of our association here present. Right beside you is Ms. Martha Toe. She is chairman of our board of directors. Okay. Right before you here is Mr. Dave Gardner. He is our vice president. And back there, I see Mrs. Winifred Faulkner. She is our chaplain of the executive committee. And we got board members in here. that officers of the association all in here, and we say to you, welcome. Normally it's an informal discussion and presentation. Winifred Faulkner to lead us in prayer as we commence the program, and Mr. Emmanuel Toole will introduce formally the senator to the group, and we'll move directly into his speaking, and then we'll open it up for questions and answers that will be moderated by Mr. Dempster Yala. So Winifred, can we have some prayers?
Bow our heads. Oh, most merciful God, we just come to you this evening to thank you for another day, another hour, another minute. Thank you for bringing us safely again to the Liberia home. Thank you for our visitor. We ask you that whatsoever he has to say, let him tell us, dear God, because we are praying for our people back home. They are suffering too much. We just want that something be done. With Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Good evening to everybody. Welcome to Liberia Hall. I'm very happy to be here today because we have in our midst the People's Senator that can guide this generation and show us the right way to govern that country. We are here for the purpose of him saying thank you to those of you who supported him during the last election. Also, as you know, he has the Dillon Foundation, and he's made promises to folks in Liberia. We are asking all Liberians in the U.S. to help him fulfill those promises through the foundation. So we're here today to listen to the senator. We want the senator to give us his idea about what's wrong in Liberia, and then he will open the floor. So I just want to, without any further ado, I want to say that we'll open the floor to introduce the People's Senator, Abe Darius Dillon.
Madam?
Yeah,
Thank you. Let me say good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
And thank you for taking up time to come for us to interact. I arrived in the U.S. yesterday, and I want to thank Mr. Emmanuel Yato and the Friends of Dillon, our diaspora committee, for the hard work. Oh, I was talking to something there and I'm loud.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, thank you. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, right.
You're home. No last.
Thank you. We want to say thanks to you for taking up time of your business schedule to come for us to interact. We arrived yesterday. We decided on purpose to make a trip to the United States and to meet with Liberians here in the United States to say thank you for the support you gave us during our campaign. And we also came to say we should work together because a lot needs to be done for our country and our people. It's going to take the right frame of mind, strong character, dependent upon God, grace and His wisdom to get us through with this. It's a tough thing. Sometimes it's very challenging and disappointing, but we can never, ever give it up. Because every time we attempt to give it up, country and the future of our children. I wanted to start off by saying, please don't call me honorable. My name is Abraham Darius Dillon. I feel good if you call me by my name rather than the honorable title. What we do in office will determine whether we are honorable or not. Not just because we are elected, means we are honorable. You call me Darius, you feel the connection. You call me honorable, you seem to be setting me apart. Let us do the work that will determine that we are honorable or not. When we put ourselves up for a campaign to be elected senator, we did not see the vacancy as a job vacancy opportunity. We saw it as an opportunity to serve. There's something in us burning to give back to our country. Our country is dying. And this time it's not dying slowly, fast. Any country that has no sense of security and special privileges for elderly people, any country where the young people and the babies don't have any sense of hope for future, that country is already dead and should not exist. And some of us refuse to sit, especially knowing where we came from, the difficulties attended our coming up. And when we reach a certain stage in life, and we believe we can give back something to our country, to set it on a course, irreversible course, it's only but fair for us to stand up. And so, and we can be an example, and we can come up with a doctrine that the country can see what is possible for us to follow and build upon. I want to thank you. We got the biggest mandate in the Liberian legislature. It's all because of God and you. Your support, your prayers, your telephone calls. From here, you influenced a lot of things back home. Call your friends and families. Vote Darius Dillon. Some of you have not met me in person before. Very few here know me personally. Most of you, even without knowing me personally, followed us on the social media, and you started to believe. When we were going across the county to campaign, thousands of people registered to vote. Most of them said they were not going to vote. It's a hopeless situation. You vote for the people, nothing changes, and so no need to go vote. When a country gets in the disbelief mode, when people start to disbelieve anything about public life, it's scary. We thought to give that hope again that it is possible. There are people out there far better than I am. We are not finding them. We live in a country now where honesty and hard work is vilified, and dishonesty and corruption is honored. We live in a country where public officials think they can be humanitarians on the public coffers. Never in the history of Liberia, the ordinary man or woman knew how much a lawmaker was paying him or herself. We came and broke that barrier in less than 1 month. When we were campaigning, we committed to you that our goal in the Liberian Senate was for check and balance, because that's what the legislature should be about. People in the executive serve at the pleasure of the president. We in the legislature should serve at your pleasure and for your aspiration. We can't be serving at the pleasure of the president and hating the country and hating the people. It's doable. It can be done. And that's why we continue to remain firm to push the agenda of the people. You are our employers. It is your aspiration that we must represent. The thing is, you can have 2, 3, 4, 5 persons in the legislature with courage, with the character, with the right frame of mind. If we don't have the majority to vote right, nothing's going to move. It is my view. The legislature has problems. It's rotten. It needs cleansing. The president is one person. If that one person, because that's what the law says, the executive power of the republic is vested in the president. One person. Whether it was Ellen, whether it's George we are today, whether it's another person tomorrow. the executive power, immense power of the republic is vested in one person. The legislative power of the republic is vested in the legislature. Majority members must agree on something before that power becomes binding on the republic. So if one person who is the president sent a bad policy for plenty of persons to decide, and they decided on that policy that doesn't help the country, then the president alone is not bad. We in the majority in the legislature, we are bad. We need to change course on that. And so we, in the legislature, I said to people, the money we're paying ourselves too much. $15,000 gross in an economy that is stuck in the toilet. How can you make me senator and I pay myself $15,000 and pay the teacher $150? The policeman, the health worker, $150. That teacher will work for 10.5 years before he realizes I pay myself every month. To me, that is wicked. You don't expect the teacher and the lawmaker to make equal amount, but let it be reasonable. Let the gap be reasonable. Especially taking into consideration the prevailing economic situation in the country. We went in there to give hope to our country and our people. And we ask for your prayers and your support. One of our signature programs, in fact, our signature program, which will be seeking your support, is the population of our people we call Zogos. They are wayward and disadvantaged people. That number is growing. They will soon take over the country. And when people wayward, disadvantaged with no capacity grow in more number than the people with capacity, it's troubling. It is troubling. And so, since national government seem not to have focus in that direction, I believe if we together can reform, rehabilitate, and make one of those persons productive again, it's better than building 10 hand pumps. To make one citizen productive is better than building 10 hand pumps. Because we went to war in 1990, not because there was no electricity in Liberia, not because there was no running water in the pump. We went to war not because we were not constructing roads. We went to war because people felt marginalized. We went to war because of inequality. And the war destroyed what the infrastructure we had. So you can rebuild those infrastructure if there is still inequality. If more people are way down the ladder, the likelihood for what you built today to get destroyed again is very possible. So we want to focus more on building the human mind and doing civic education across the country to get our people up to speed with what kind of leaders we need for our country that will take us from where we are to a better place. So I came to say thank you. I came to say thank you. I know a Bible story where Jesus healed 10 lepers and one came back to say thank you. And Jesus asked, where are the other 9? I came to say thank you so I can be in the other 9. Thank you, and we can interact. I'm sure you have some concern, you want to know what's happening.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you please share the video for me? Please share the video. Please share the video, please. Please. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, my name is Dempster Yala, and I am one of I'm one of those who made Darius Dillon. And believe it or not, he doesn't even know me. I did not even know him today. It's our first time meeting in person. But we interacted on the internet. We interacted on a portion of Facebook called CCL, Coalition of Concerned Liberians. When Darius Dillon was not director, but when you for the first lady, what was
Chief of Staff.
Chief of Staff of Joel Howard Taylor. That's when we interacted. That's when I used to give him hell. For whatever the reason or so. So today is our first time meeting. But one reason why I really admire Darius Dillon, because some of the things that he's doing personally today, it almost seemed as though it was me doing them. Like, for instance, going back to his constituents and so thanking them for electing him. You know, that is so extraordinary, that is so unheard of in Liberia. And in fact, I've monitored some of his visits to those districts, people thanking him, telling him this is the first time that has ever happened, that they elected somebody and the person came back to say thank you to them, or to them. So, Brother Dillon, welcome to Michigan, welcome to Detroit. We're very, very happy and glad to have you among us. And we're very sorry today is Sunday. People got busy schedule, as you know. The weather is cold. That's why you don't see this hall crowded. But if we stay here up to 9, 10 o'clock or so, you will see the hall, fill the capacity that this. We are happy to have in our midst. I recognize one of our brothers from Columbus, Ohio, in the person of Brother Wetty. Man.
I want to rather respond. I will deal with it.
All right. Brother Wetty, welcome, Brother Wetty. Welcome back to Detroit. Well, without taking much of our time, Brother Dillon is here to field our question. So we'll now open the floor. $5 per question, please. Is that okay?
Yes. Yes.
I'm just kidding. But okay, brother, who's behind there? Dennis, Tower, Mr. Chairman of the board.
Mr. Dillon, I'm Mr. Tower, Dennis, member of the board of directors. You said I should call you Mr. Dillon, but the honorable name comes with the office. I don't know whether you're running away from the honorable name. And then we say I'm going to call you Mr. Dillon. Mr. Dillon, you spoke and you said something that scared me. It scared me a whole lot. That Liberia is going bad off. One thing I want to ask you, as Senator-elect, we had Ebola that passed. I want to ask you, can the Liberian people trust the health system? God, health is the most important thing. As a senator right now, can Liberians trust the health system? That's the question I asked.
Okay, so let me just be blunt. No. Sadly to no. The day you hear Senator Dillon or President Weah or a representative goes to JFK and not to Ghana or India or come to America for treatment, then we are going somewhere. One of the things we made a case of was, and still is, to reduce our money. If 103 lawmakers gave back 5,000 of what we pay ourselves to the country, in 1 month, that's about $600,000 to $700,000 US. Times 12, very close to $8 million. We can upgrade our public health facilities and bring them up to speed, make it very affordable, if not free, especially for the ordinary people. If something happens to me as senator, and I can go to JFK or Redemption or the Baza Hospital, or which county I'm in at that time, and they can take me to the public health facility in that county, then we start to go somewhere. Also, the public education facilities, upgrade the standard, make it free from kindergarten to 12th grade, put quality in there, so that the poor people who cannot afford can send their children to school, because education is a right. In fact, it's a human right. not just education, but quality education. So that when they graduate, and other people who can afford to send their children to private school because of the quality, when those people children graduate and the poor people children graduate, and they meet in the bigger world, they can compete on the same quality. On the same quality. So in direct answer to your question, we cannot depend on the health system and facility in our country. It's practically broken. We need to look at it. To me, public service is about service to people and country, and not service to your family and your pocket.
As a Liberian who wants to return home with health conditions back home, so that means I should think about that.
Okay, all right.
Let me follow up with him. You know, I didn't come to give you. That is not true. Even malaria, curable disease, killing our people. Killing our people. The health facilities are not vibrant. They're not resilient. Ebola just exposed that we were late. God just loved us.
Yes.
God loved us so much that He gave us certain weather. He gave us certain climate. Sometimes you in Liberia, you even admire people walking in the snow in America. God knows why He didn't put snow, and He gave us that weather. We don't have it. Even the equipment, the technology, when snow falls and the government comes to clear up and all those stuff, we get it. We die. Your senator came to America yesterday. I lived here for pretty close to 2 years. At least I should be able to adjust myself to the weather. When I came yesterday, and Imaya waiting 5 minutes before you could come. By the time Imaya told, by the time I came outside from the airport, nobody told me to go back inside. Nobody told me to go back inside. And I was like, my man, you gotta hurry up, got the we got too much work to do, and every sector is down. Sadly, what's off is that you get hope that something will be done when the governance over the country is good. Respect for the rule of law, strengthening governance institutions. When you see these things happening and inspiring investor confidence to come to the country to expand the economy, when you see these things happening, then you know we're picking up the road somewhere. As it is right now, to just feel for them is one thing. To fight to get us from one point to another is the goal. It's a challenging goal. But we all got to do it together. I'm prepared to work with President Weah. In the Liberian Senate, we're working with our colleagues. I became senator because of all of us. I went in there with a mindset to be a constructive disruptor of the normal things that are wrong. And the normal things that are wrong, so much. So much. I know it's unrelated to your question, but I'm just telling you the mindset of our people to get us somewhere. As senator, you gave me 480 gallons of gasoline every month. I said, gasoline allowance. Okay, it's coming to me. Even though I've not received it yet. But I'm making a case for why it's too much in the first place. We should cut it down. And two, let's make sense of it. Why are you giving me 480 gallons of gasoline as senator of Monterey County, and you're giving the senator coming from Maryland County the same quantity? His distance longer than mine. So give me less and give him more. Let's make sense of it. And when we do that kind of proportional distribution, then we can save government some money as well. What are you paying me $15,000 for? I came to serve and not to enrich myself. The riches we want Create the sectors of our country for our people to benefit. Then you rich. That's what we want to do. That's what we're seeking to do. And we're building consensus and blocks in the Liberian Senate.
I don't want to editorialize everything he says, so I will just give people a chance to speak, because that's one of the reasons why I love him. How many of us here can say, cut my salary by half to benefit the other people and all that kind of stuff? Kuli Kennedy.
For a moment there, I thought he was going to go rogue on me. Welcome, Senator. There's a lot of things that I would like to raise, but of course there are many minds here who would be considering similar ideas. And as you've been talking, even more questions come up. The one thing that I would like to focus on this evening is something that I'm passionate about, and that is the rule of law in Liberia. A few months ago, the Senate impeached a sitting justice of the Supreme Court. And although there were many flaws with this process, because the accusers themselves made the allegation before they went and formed the facts, some facts that they said supported their allegations. And then the Chief Justice of Liberia presided over a case in the Senate in which he allowed evidence that the Constitution specifically prohibits to be presented. And it was this one evidence, the constitutionally prohibited evidence, that no judge can be removed from office for a decision made on the bench. The same Constitution provides a similar protection for legislators. Now, Darius, is there anything that gives you comfort that this precedent will not be applied to you or any legislator for standing up against George Weah?
Thank you. If you follow like you did with the unconstitutional removal of Kabina from the Supreme Court bench, I made my voice loud that it was unconstitutional, it was bogus, and that it will hurt the country. Kabina General removal will hurt this country. It will hurt the country. In fact, it is already. Because when your judiciary is controlled by powerful politicians, you are saying no justice for the poor man, and you are saying investors pack up and leave. I've always said good money is a threat of bad environment. And once the environment is bad, good money won't go there. What gives good money the comfort and the assurance to go into an environment is the independence, credibility of your judiciary. Kabina Janet's removal was just plain wrong. Shame on any senator who voted to remove Kabina Janet, not even with a conscience, but out of inducement. For you to visit me, I'm prepared for your anything. Prefer for us to change than for me to be changed. I must not be senator. I'm not compelled to be senator. But if one day I'm in there, Liberia should have a story to tell. The day I was inducted as senator, I was threatened with removal already. Some of you watch it, right? Yes. I was threatened with removal because they know my courage. They know my mentality and my mindset. We went in there to build our block so that it can grow in number, so that you can go to bed and say we have a Senate or a legislature that we can rely upon, that this one will not pass because these people are there. You can trust. The Constitution, like you rightly said, in order to impeach any public official under the category of impeachment, there must be a prescribed set of rules. And those rules must be prescribed in uniform, meaning that both houses must agree on one set of rules for impeachment. In the case of Kabina Janneh, there was no rule prescribed, no process. Painfully, the Chief Justice of Liberia went and presided over something that was unconstitutional. Today, Kabina Janneh lays hanging. Because when you impeach somebody, the sanction there is remove them from office, period, or remove them from office with a further sanction never to hold public office any longer. For doing his job, for upholding the rule of law, we remove a Supreme Court justice. So it was easy for the government to go to get a writ of search and seizure warrant from the magisterial court to go loot a radio station, because that lower court judge saw how his boss was removed, and he didn't want to be sacked or removed, so he issued a writ. The judge, the magistrate who had courage last week to say Costa radio station, Roots FM, was illegally closed, President Weah removed him the same evening. The same evening. You can't run a country like that. In order for people to know they can live, and when they are wrong, they get somewhere to go for redress, and you're killing it, you're killing the country. Under President Weah's administration, when Ellen became president, it's not a praise thing for Ellen, but let's give it to her. When Ellen became president, I can understand personally why Ellen did not enjoy the sympathy of majority Liberians. Because they say, oh, but she the mother of the war, they don't want to go to war. We can understand that. But me, Darius Dillon, I saw Ellie from being president. We knew her war history. We elected her, right? Now she's president. Ellie took Liberia from no structure. Even if the governance structure was there, it was not functional. No roads, no water, no light. A budget of less than $80 million. Civil servants salary in arrears of over 1 year. Were taking pay twice a year. Christmas and 26. And civil servant was taking as low as $15 or less every month, yet they could not be paid. And she took over a country where Liberia passport was worthless. Debt, credibility was off. Liberia was in debt in the excess of over $4 billion. In 6 months to 1 year, Ellen restored sanity. In fact, the woman's first cabinet she named shook the country and sent a message to the world that something was about to happen in a place called Liberia. Fast forward. George Weah took over a country with governance structures in place. Some paved roads, some water in the pump, some electricity someplace. Civil servants have raised in their money up to 150 and being paid regularly. In less than 2 years, everything is going back in the toilet. The judiciary is successfully being killed. Civil servant, I'm a senator. Since we made me senator, I haven't taken pay. I haven't taken pay. Since I became senator August. In fact, they haven't paid some senators from July. Senator Prince Johnson even so very said there will be problem. And you know when PYJ vest, who hope you really doesn't get vest like that. Everything is just crumbling. Investors are now attracted to Liberia. The ones that are already in the country are scaling down. And this is no gloomy picture out of an opposition mentality. It is the fact. The country is economically hard, and the economic hardship on our people have increased at a proportion never seen or felt in Liberia before. When your people back home call you, even for $5, if you haven't sent it, it's not easy. To the point where even the $5 you send in your people, the government now is saying 25% of that money is a mandate. It's mandatory to open your account just so that they can have some money in the bank. And when you go for your 25% later, they say system down. You have a president who thinks being critical of him, constructively critical, makes you an enemy. You must watch it or you must die. It's just bad. This year, enrollment in school has dropped because parents cannot afford. Self-supporting students cannot afford. If we were doing our work to upgrade the standard of the public schools, put some quality in there, and then made it free, as it is here, public school from kindergarten to 12th grade. It's free, with good quality. If we did that, we will be serving the aspiration of our people.
Thank you.
If we did upgrading of the public health facilities and made it really affordable or free, we'll be serving the aspiration of our people. So yes, Kuli, the governance structure, the governance of our country is something very scary.
Thank you.
Very scary, and if we don't do anything about it. Let me say something, maybe at the risk of annoying some of my colleagues in the Senate. We have our chat room, Senator's chat room. The discussions in there are very discouraging. If you don't see the righteous angle in the discussion in the room, but look, it's too much. Enough is enough. Let's stand up in majority to fight for our people. Every day you look in the room, what are they paying off? They pay health workers. So when will our anger be when our civil servant will take pay? When would that be? Ellen decided that she would strengthen governance institutions and give some independence so the people can do their professional work. Anti-Corruption Commission. I was chief of staff to Joy Howard Taylor when she was senator of Bond County. According to the Senate rules, when you are chief of staff to a senator, you are secretary on a committee that senator heads. And Joel Howard Taylor was head of the Public Autonomous and Agencies and Commission. So I was secretary on that committee who worked on these bills, on these laws. The Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the Public Procurement and Concessions Commission. We strengthened the General Auditing Commission and gave independence or tenure to certain positions so that people are free of intimidation and intrusion. George Weah became president and sent one bill to the legislature to detenurize those positions, because imagine the president wants the central bank governor to serve at his pleasure. Imagine the president wants somebody who should be fighting corruption, who is head of the Anti-Corruption Commission. The president wants that person to serve at his pleasure. Election Commission. All of the commission, the president sent one bill to the legislature to detenurize those tenures. And thankfully, we're fighting it. We're fighting it.
Thank
And
you.
we gave George Weah everything: rule of law, governance, respect for the rule of law. We die.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure the more and longer we hear Honorable Darius Dillon, the more we'll get to love him. Abraham Carver.
With due respect, I will call you the People's Senator, because that's the name I have been hearing all over. Every time I read about Liberia, they call you the People's Senator. My concern here is on the dual citizenship. We all are Liberians. We all were born in Liberia. If I went to my village today, my people in my town are going to consider me as a citizen. Now the Liberian government is saying, since I have dual citizenship, all the properties my people own, I don't own them no more. And that's not what our tradition says. Secondly, I cannot run for any position. How are you going to get help in the Senate to change the minds of the people if the people who are elected are still corrupt? The only way that can help is to have people there who have the mindset, who have traveled, who have seen experience, to come and help you to eradicate that system. Now, to that dual citizenship, I cannot run to be senator. And if I know more about Senate rules, where are you going to get that help from? To be in my village, which has deprived me from coming in the government to help, or I may be a minister of finance. I got more finance knowledge, but I cannot be, I cannot work in the Ministry of Finance. How is Liberia going to grow? Are we just going to grow by saying, oh, we can do this? When the president says this, we won't agree to it. Why is it that the senators and the legislature can't tell him, you deal with your position and we will take care of ours? You are supposed to check and balance. If you know it's not balanced, you let it go. So what are you people doing with that dual citizenship? Because to me, the way I read it, it's not fair to some of us who are out of the country. You're taking us to be a third citizenship, and we don't want that.
Thank you. Thank you. The dual citizenship issue is very sensitive. But I will be as honest, frank with this discussion. Let me start with myself first. For years, I have been against dual citizenship. People say, oh, Dillon, you're envious. Oh, you're scared of competition. I heard all those. I said, my voice would not go in favor of dual citizenship. The reason was simple. There's something that causes Liberians to leave Liberia and take up citizenship of other countries. It's not because they don't love their country. The opportunities the other countries provide, for which some of us take our citizenship of those countries. Sadly, the number or the percentage or the figure may not be scientific, but I hold the view that about 95% of Liberians in Liberia cannot even go to Sierra Leone border. No means. They may not ever get to cross the border to leave Liberia. So why don't we first put in systems that will provide opportunity for our people to empower them? Those were my views for years. At a certain point in time, I decided to come halfway. When you come to America and appear before a judge and raise your hand to take up citizenship of America, you are not doing it because you hate Liberia. You do so for several reasons. Sometimes it is to help the very Liberia that you do that. So nobody who does that should lose his Liberian citizenship. 2, there are babies being born in this country and other countries that they don't choose where to be born. They are born unto Liberian parents. Where they are born, the law says they are citizens in those countries as well, or of those countries. We should not deny them. So about 1 million Liberians across the world who hold citizenship of other countries. Let's restore their rights to be citizens of Liberia. First and first. The political jobs, the appointed jobs or the elective jobs, to be minister is left to a president. You can have all of the capacity. You can have all the education. You can have all the competence. If the president favor you being on his cabinet, you won't be there. And there's about 21 persons who can be minister at a time. But political consideration, political job, that is not a guarantee. 1 million Liberians should not lose their citizenship. Senator Darius Dillon came to America, saw opportunities, took citizenship, and he want to go back home, he got to go get visa to go home. We want to undo that. If we pass with the dual citizenship bill and take it to our people, which will be across the country, for them to vote for, to allow our people to enjoy their Liberian citizenship and at the same time enjoy the citizenship of other countries they've taken, first thing, you won't go look for visa to go home. 2, the right to own property, purchase or inherited, will be restored. You can go home and do almost anything besides being appointed to certain position. You can be deputy, you can be assistant, you can be director, but you can be minister, proper, the head of the ministry. We'll do so in the interest of national security as well. We'll do so in the interest of national security. And in my view, we're opening the door halfway, and we'll see how it works. Then we'll open it wide and complete. For now, the key thing we're focusing on is for everybody to enjoy their Liberian citizenship. It's not everybody who wants to hold dual citizenship want to be minister, or may be minister. But because somebody wants to be minister tomorrow, or may be minister tomorrow, should not be the reason why millions of Liberians, hundreds of thousands of Liberians, should not benefit from their citizenship. So I voted and signed the resolution for us to allow dual citizenship for Liberia and for Liberians. Since the founding of our country, since we rewrote our constitution and it came into binding force and effect on January 6, 1986, Liberians who hold citizenship of another country are denied being Liberians. Because the law as it is, when you take up citizenship of another country, you have in effect renounced your Liberian citizenship. We say no. We say no. A Liberian born Liberian may only lose his or her citizenship if he purposely went before a judge to say, I came to renounce my Liberian citizenship. Then of taking up citizenship of another country was not to renounce your citizenship of Liberia, your birth citizenship. You only wanted to add something that will afford you some opportunity to empower yourself and to help your family and your country. That should not be the reason why you should lose your Liberian citizenship automatically because you did not appear before any consulate or judge to say, I came with a sole purpose of renouncing my Liberian citizenship. That, for you to lose your Liberian citizenship, should be left to your decision. Not because you took on citizenship of another country. And so, during our campaign, we committed to you and our people back home that it is time for us to open the door halfway and monitor and see how it will happen, how it will flow. Then we can open the door completely later. There is fear, apprehension that if we made a Liberian citizen of another country, say for instance America, and made him justice minister or finance minister, if he had no integrity and character and made away with some good money, Liberia doesn't have the clout to bring him back. Liberia doesn't have the clout to bring him back.
Thank you.
For prosecution. Any citizen who America wants from Liberia will panic and send that person back immediately. When we want somebody from here, no way. When America said no, forget it. We don't have the clout.
Yeah.
We saw it with Charles Taylor. We've seen it with Ellen Cochran. We've seen it with J.D. Snagger. J.D. Snagger was commissioner at Maritime, and a Senator, Maurice Dukley, they made away on allegation from Maritime under the Judy Breyer administration, made away with $2 million US and came here. They've never gone back to Liberia since. All attempts to get them back on extradition have not worked. America is too powerful over Liberia. We don't have the clout, geopolitical clout.
They don't trust the system.
To demand, yeah, the system is another thing. The system is another thing, and I agree with you. So, why don't we fight to build the system? Put these things in place, make it vibrant. Last night we were in a discussion, and I've said it over and again. You see, system can help to make it work, but the system won't make it work. It only guides you. It is we who make the system work. I make practical example with the traffic light. In America here, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., you alone in the traffic light, red light on, you stay right there until it changes. In Liberia, you get to the low level, right? There you go. So the traffic light is working, there's a system. But when you abide by it, you respect it, then it works. You understand? 2, we have a tradition which we must fight against. That tradition is, we seem to be a people who agree that corruption is pervasive. Just right in this room, we may all agree that the government is rotten corrupt to the core. But let's start going after the people who are corrupt. This room will be divided because people will start protecting their family and defending their partisans. We agree that the place is corrupt. Now, I didn't come here to give you elementary examples of things, but that's how I sell my message across the country because our people really need to understand. This is a building. New building. Beautifully designed, furnished. If you put clean people in this building, it will be kept tidy, clean, right? If you beautify this building, painted it very nicely, and you put dirty people in here, what happens after a week? So you see, government is an institution. It is we, the people, that go into government with our character and attitude and make it clean, keep it clean, or make it dirty. Now, I said Liberia is a sick country. And somebody said, oh, you insulting the president because Once you talk about the country or the government, it means that the president is supposed to be God. I wasn't speaking about George Weah. I was speaking about Awasaki. We go to election free of guns to our heads. We elect people who hate the country, and right after we empower them with government authority, then we say we want war crime code. Are we not sick? We must be a safe country to punish people who work hard with honesty and integrity, but reward people who corrupt the system and rob the country. We must be a safe country. We must be a safe country where the older people are better in terms of education than the younger generation, especially in the modern day and age. It means nobody to replace the old people in terms of quality education and good experience. It must be a safe country. It must be a safe country where the people have been so suppressed, oppressed for so long, they're falling in sympathy with the people who oppress them. You who speak for their freedoms, they vex with you. And any country that is sick like that needs deliverance.
Thank you.
Thank you. Folks, many reasons why I love Darius Dillon. But on the question of dual citizenship, I know there are people who raise their hand and say, you want to give me $10 or $20 to have him speak, but simply just hold your peace. We have an expert here on dual citizenship. Our own Honorable Emmanuel Wetty from Columbus is here. He wants to tell us a little bit about dual citizenship, then we'll take it from there.
Emmanuel Wetty is from Utah also.
And I'm in a brief protocol for a few seconds. But Wetty, when I fight, when I come out together, so I said I want dual citizenship, so he blocked me. Then I said I will meet dual citizenship halfway, then he opened the block. And then when I voted for dual citizenship with a restriction, then he said I open the block completely. Anything you want.
And you know, Mr. Senator, I am here today to tell everybody that because of your support, and let me say one thing, that the secret negotiation was done. He actually told me your honest view. Right. And it is true. He and I use on each other. That one is true. So before I say anything, you went to Douala, and you said you're going to buy $800 printer for the people. That $800 will give you 4 right now.
Wow.
And we get something for your office. So when you leave here, you go in the cool, they kind of say, man, office looking good.
Wow.
So this is your tag for your, oh, wait a minute. This is a tag for your desk. It says the librarian sent it. Abraham Darius Dillon. Also got the county.
Thank you very much.
All right. He's supposed to the people said it.
You know?
God is so good. You know what I love about it even more? No honorable honor. No honorable honor.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So
let me say what that my office here right now.
all right.
Open it back.
Mr. Senator, thank you for coming. I mean, the Senator took everything from other things. I don't have to repeat what he said. I don't have to repeat. Yeah, I went through the lines, everything. But I just want you to know, and want your colleagues to be aware, that all of the senators and representatives that signed the document, we will do everything we can to support them.
Thank you.
We may not have the money, but if we have a pet project, something that we can help with, we'll do our best. And my fellow Liberians, the Senator said, when you put your hand up, your hand down, you are no longer a Liberian. It doesn't matter how you think, how you feel, or what you know. Legally, you're not a Liberian. That's the law. The opportunity they are providing us is to restore our Liberian citizenship. This thing is a gradual process. Elizabeth Darius, Dr. Elizabeth Darius, the president of Thornburg University, former president of Thornburg University, was appointed Minister of Education. She went for confirmation hearing. We are speaking on today's law as we talk about right now. They asked her, are you an American? She said, yes, I'm an American. They cut the confirmation hearing off immediately. They said, you want to go to airline level, make you citizen? She said, no. I keep my American passport. Take the job. So she walked away. So the current law does not give you anything. The Senator, thank you very much. Our children and the generation yet unborn will regain their Liberian citizenship.
Yes.
This is a process and not an event. Let's do it gradually. And may God bless you. And may God bless this great and wonderful future chapter.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you very much for joining.
And you know,
This is Octavius Gilman.
the statement you just made,
I gotta be in the
that
photo
this is
too,
a
you know.
process
I'll go back to the
that
senator.
when you relinquish your Liberian citizenship or so, legally, technically, you're no longer Liberian. That has been my stance too. I've been like him. I've been opposed to dual citizenship, but with that kind of approach, I thought we are all on board.
Thank you.
So we're coming small, gradually.
And don't forget, we have a conference in December 6, 7 in Washington, D.C. You have the chance to come and support us. Thank you.
Any more questions for the honorable for DD ADD rather than DD ADD Abraham Darius Dillon that we are simply.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yala, for finally asking me to get up and talk. Mr. Dillon, thank you for rocking the Detroit on your head over there. Because you're welcome to the D. If you remember, I met Mr. Dillon last night. But prior to that, I met him in Liberia, but it was on a different issue. I met him last night and I preempted the dual citizenship thing. So when I saw Benoweti, I started thinking, I said, you know what, I gotta find another question to ask. He's here. And I'm glad with what you just said. Thank you. Also, I got two questions now. Basically exposing, personally in a good way, your colleagues in the Senate, as far as the salary is concerned and the incentives. That's very, astronomical. How do they feel about a young man? In fact, as a matter of fact, you greeted me tonight, oh my man, Air Pekin. And I understand that you're my Pekin, but right now I will call you honorable. How do you feel that the fact that you have exposed your colleagues who have never ever tried to let the Liberian people know what the salaries are or is, and of the $15,000, but it was never substantiated. $1 million from the speaker, is what you said? Okay. That's one question. My second question is this. Being a layman, I know for sure the $16 million Liberian dollars issue has not been resolved by most Liberians, but I'm hearing of printing more money. And I've also read that the sub-region, ECOWAS region, will have a single currency to be issued in January next year. So as a layman again, without knowing the technical aspects of it, I'm like, okay, we're going to get a new currency for the ECOWAS region. Why do you want to print additional money? And we also, as a government, the citizens saying that $60 million has basically been missing. I mean, so my thing is how, in that regard, what do you think?
Thank you. Your first concern simply is that you want to know how I feel or what my colleagues feel about my exposure. I care more about how I feel. I feel so relieved. It's a courageous thing. Look, the Bible says charity begins at home and ends abroad. If you can't tell your wife how much you're making, you belong in public office. The day I exposed how much we're making, some wives were first in the room. That was the first time hearing it. A lot of people say, including my cousin, Pressure, a lot of people say to me, Darius, you got to be careful. You got to watch your life. You got to increase your security. Look, I'm appointed to die. The Bible says it. It is appointed unto men to be born once and then die, and thereafter there's judgment. So I know once I'm born, I have an appointment with death. The Bible says so. Do I want to die? No. Where I die? Yes. Where, when, how? Only God knows. So I leave those with God. Anybody plotting evil against me, if you succeed, God allow it. You will face the punishment, and me and God will face the judgment of my life. So I don't be walking around looking over my shoulder as to who coming or who plotting. And you plotting, you don't want to get the energy to do so. I don't care for me doing the right thing. For me fulfilling a campaign commitment that I made to you. All of us together. Why did it make the news, international news? Because it was strange. Today in Liberia, we are the only public official from the legislature who have declared our assets before entering office. Openness, transparency, accountability. We published our assets. The president said he can't publish his assets because his family concern. If you want family concern, don't take public job that has law binding to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Octavius Gilman. Coming to you live from Detroit, Michigan. You are watching the Liberian Association in Michigan.
Fine. But we need the numbers to do the job of the people. So we still need to lobby, rally, to get the numbers. And there are very few good ones in there. And I don't shy away from saying it. We have an opportunity in 2020 to replace some people. They don't belong in there. It is my view, and I hold that view strongly. Because if you have 16 or more strong, courageous senators, you will start to see a feel change in Liberia. Yes. Because the bare minimum for a majority is 16. If you have more, you can start to reach the 2/3 threshold to get some things done. And then you start to worry a president who thought he can just walk through the legislature. And then you start to worry a president that impeachment is very likely, with courageous people in the numbers. Then the president will do the right thing for the country and the people. So I don't be bothered about how anybody feels, my colleagues, about me exposing things. In fact, all of us with Liberians will know our common slang. They call me Cheche Pole. When I was campaigning, I said, make me senator, I will tell you everything we're doing in there so that you can get versed with us to do the right thing. Every 5 minutes we'll go to a secret session. The people elected us. The people, it is the people's issue we should be discussing, and if we're discussing the people's issues to find solutions, we'll do it proudly in the public, in the open. What will close the door? I say, you make me senator, it will secret session and the discussion is against the interest of the people. By the time I come out, I will talk it. The first secret session we went to, they said no need because Cheche Pole yet. I'm glad to be referred to as Cheche Pole for you. Glad to be your Cheche Pole. I'm glad to be your Cheche Pole. The second concern was about the $16 billion. The $16 billion issue is not settled. Then we compounded the trouble by the infusion of $25 million. That too is not settled. Upon that, President Weah wants us to give him authority to print $35 billion. $35 billion to remove all the legacy banknotes, all the current banknotes, to make it all, demonetize it, and take it from the market. Now, it doesn't make sense to me to give my approval. Maybe yet. Reason is simple. Imagine on this bright light, I grab Samsung phone as in stealing, flee, and you all chase me and grab me. And you took me to the police station, and the police, okay, we investigate the matter. But Dillon, we had the investigation. I didn't want to steal the phone. I stole the phone. And the police here for that police station said, Dillon, we had the investigation as to how the phone was stolen. You who phone, you saw me stealing. So you will hear the current administration say, any government put us in this mess. It is not true. You see, here is the truth and the facts. Any government at some point in time was authorized in keeping with Constitution through the legislature to print $5.5 billion Liberian dollars. Later on, the early administration, without authority from the legislature, printed an additional $10 billion, $10.5 billion, so that's $16 billion. 47%, and the percentage I'm calling is factual because an international report, the Crow report, says it, that 47% of that amount was cleared under George Weah administration. So, Ellen cooked 15 cups of rice, she was authorized to cook 5, she cooked extra 10, she did just more than 5 that she was authorized to cook, she did just more than 10 that she was not authorized to cook. The good majority of the food was in the kitchen, and she turned the kitchen over to George Weah. Where the food and where the DJ? You can say, okay, so we vex with Ellen, rightly so, for printing money without authority. But we're using the money, so where is it? So if you want me to give you approval to print money, you can say, on the 1st of October 2018, the governor of the central bank, appointed by President Weah, reported to Liberia and the world that no $16 billion was missing, that the $16 billion printed was received by the central bank and can be accounted for through the central bank system. Where is it? If it is in a vault, then put it outside. Now that what will bring that vault. So, but if it is not in a vault, then it means somebody took it out. Then it means it left the vault through the system. I would not sit to see President Weah, retired Nathaniel Patriot, handsomely for plunging our economy. I would not sit and give approval to President Weah for Samuel Twain sitting as Minister of Finance to preserve our printing money. No way. No way. when they brought
Alright guys, I want to say thank you very much. We are following the discussion from Dillon Town Hall meeting in Detroit, Michigan. This is Octavius Gilbert from the TSA International Talk Show.
So what kind of agriculture people work? So by law, we amended the law. We amended the law and removed agricultural break to constituency break. It makes sense now. During this period, we can interact with our people, understand what they report to them, what we did when we were sitting, and then ask their opinion or their input in things that we need to take back to the legislature when we return. For them, it should be about them and for them. So we have constituency break. Before we took this break, they brought a resolution for us to sign giving approval for George Weah to print money. About 8 senators signed. And when they brought the paper to me, I said, I will not sign. I need to sleep over this. Let's go on break. What a rush. Now, when I did not sign, the bulk of the senators said they're not signing. So when somebody asked, why you signing? They said, I want my need to be in Darius Dillon more. When you sign it, I was signing. You know, I want to thank my colleagues. Somehow, we're waking up, hoping that we'll wake up good for the country and the people. For us to hold on to George Weah's request to print money is in the interest of the country. Yes. It's in the interest of the country. I'm not an economist. I know anything about financial theory and stuff, but nobody needs to tell me that the country is hard economically. We are indisciplined. Fiscal, we are indisciplined when it comes to budgetary spending. We are indisciplined almost over everything, over national issues. We need to discipline ourselves. If the money is in a vault, it's in a vault, it's not in circulation, it's M2. So I mean, when we put it outside, then it's M1 or M2, right? So if it is in a vault, let's put it outside. That's what we put it for, right? Nobody should give you any impression that the government has taken action on the people who printed the money, the $16 billion. It's not true. Here's the real story. Charles Salif, Milton Weeks, and the 3 other folks who are being prosecuted are not being prosecuted as a result of printing $16 billion. They are being prosecuted because they printed excess of $1.9 billion that they did not report. Excess, the overage that was printed and not reported is why they are being prosecuted. This administration is not prosecuting those people because they printed money without authority from the legislature. The present government seems to be very reluctant for obvious reasons why they won't go after the $16 billion or else the government will come down. The money is in homes. And that the same people want me to give them authority to print new money. Who own the change first? Is they own their homes first with the new money? 2, they say, which is true, people don't have contact. Why should you put my money in the bank and try to withdraw it? I can't get it. It's risky to keep too much money in your home. The law says you can't keep certain threshold of money outside the bank. But if the bank is not is not water, it's not reliable, people will find other means to keep their money so that anytime they want it, they can reach it. They can reach it. Now, what the government is doing, they're playing a tactic. They're putting all the money outside because the ordinary people, they're doing that now as a pressure on the lawmakers to say, you know, the ordinary man let to my time. Their money, oh, you just let the people print the money. Now, this is where leadership with courage will stand up, because sometimes if the ordinary man does not know or understand why you, the leader, standing up for him, he gets vexed with you. And it is our responsibility to explain to them why some of us taking the stance. The $16 billion issue is not settled. The $25 million infusion was a scheme put up by the Weah administration to do the country further. It's hurting. Their own report said At certain booths, they went to exchange money. They report say the booths are existing on paper but not in structure. So who did they give the money to? Okay, a simple way. Monrovia is not Liberia. There's somebody in one village in Grand Gila. You only have $5,000 Liberian in his home or in his possession. Where are the systems that have been put in place to get to those people to exchange their money? Is it going to come Monrovia? To come Monrovia and go back Grand Gila is more than 5,000. The person only have $5,000 to change. So a lot of things need to be put in place, and we need to understand whether printing money will reduce the inflation. If it won't, then don't do it. Because as it is, a lawmaker from CDC, I'm sure all of you know it. We in opposition don't want to give approval for us to print money because they want print money to pay the civil servant. So when one face hospital, we print money. When one build one construct one road, we print money. You got their own idea for doing things. No. Governance and the rule of law can impact the economy. Can also impact the economy. If we were doing good governance over our country, probably we wouldn't need to print money because we have $16 billion of new money. We need to find it. If we don't find it, we will not find 35 billion.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you very much. My name is Octavius Gilman, and coming to you live from Detroit, Michigan, from the TSA International Talk Show. I want to say hi to my brother Lofa Julius. Please, you are listening to the Senator Abraham Darius Dillon. Also speaking to you is the financial treasurer for Dillon campaign in the diaspora, also a special assistant to Dillon. Thank you very much. I go back to the Senator.
As a country, in order to qualify to be part of the ECOWAS, the ECO currency, we ain't even born yet. So don't worry.
Well, let me take this privilege to ask my own question now. Mr. Have I ever asked questions?
It's okay.
Yes, but no, I will ask one question, then I will give people a chance. Mr. Senator, yeah, I'll pay the $5. Mr. Senator, I got several issues, but I will just reduce them to one. But let me just enumerate one or two of the items. For instance, the Transport Union of Liberia. Okay, I want us to address that, but there will be something coming on later on. And the Marketing Association of Liberia. How the people collecting money from our poor people or whatnot, what are they doing with it or so? We'll address that. I will address. Well, my main question here is, you mentioned, but for instance, you are talking about reducing the cost of Liberian people of the cost for a senator and representative or so. Okay, you salary from 15,000, 10,000, you cutting yours to 5,000 and give the rest back to the people. But take for example, a senator and representative getting their rental fee paid by the government of Liberia. And these people, all of you have homes in Monrovia where you reside. But yet still we pay. Does that factor into this accountability and cutting down on government expense on you legislators or so? You understand my question, right? Right. So I want you to address that. I mean, the government, we're paying for your rent, and all the people, the representatives, the senators, all of you got houses in Monrovia. But yet and still, we're paying for if you're coming from the interior, coming to Monrovia, renting. Is that fair?
Okay. No, so I am not an injurer here. It is my view, government should not pay lease for me living in my own house.
Right.
But it is understandable. There are some people who became representatives and came Monrovia for the first time. They don't. But they are representing their people, and so they will have to be in Monrovia.
We agree.
Yes, it makes sense for us to accommodate them. So the benefits, the allowances, to me, is not too much of a bad thing to relocate people. The amount is what we should look at. The economy bad, the country poor. Let's have a ceiling. Say maybe we give you $250 a month to be in a place, okay, because that your house will come in bill for you. But we give me $1,200 to be in my own house every month.
You're right.
Is that a salary?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
You think that Joe joking?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my government, I'm bringing you this live event from Detroit, Michigan. This is the Liberian Association in Michigan. This is their property, is their own building. It's officially paid off by the Liberian Association in Michigan. We also listen to your Senator Abraham Darius Dillon.
We could just put $75 or $79 on our phone for the whole month. You have internet, you can call any other network, you can call America, you can call Canada, a few other countries. How many times do I take my phone to call Nigeria? If I want to do that, I put $1 or $2 credit on my phone to do it as a public official. But $200-300 every month for scratch card to credit my phone is too much. It's just too much. You know, when you reduce the handsome incentive, especially financial incentive, you already know who wants to serve. It is a $15,000-20,000 that people are running after that. Each of my people, they want to go there is not. You understand? So yes, the marketing association is another issue. Yes, they're supposed to collect money from the people so as to get a place, and, you know, sanitize, clean it up. My understanding is they sign memorandum of understanding with the city government. So the money they collect from their members, the city government is supposed to come clean up. The city government is not fulfilling its aspect of the MOU for other technical or other reasons. Transport Union is not a government institution, privately run. They operate under the laws of Liberia. They determine their own dues. And if members feel otherwise, they are the members, if they are in majority to change their own rules, there should be allowance for that. I'm not too sure the government can determine how much a private institution like the Transport Union should charge members. It is members who will determine what the dues should be. Maybe I'm wrong, and then we can look into that to see how we can intervene if it is the case.
Mr. President, yes.
I want to say thank you again. That's the president for the Liberian Association in Michigan about to speak, ladies and gentlemen.
No, listen, Mr. President.
So please bear with us. We following a live event from Detroit, Michigan. Bringing you this event is Octavius Gilman from the TSA International Talk Show. We will be on the next flight with the senator from by tomorrow morning. Speaking is the president for the Liberian Association in Michigan.
People take it for good and bad. I say it will be the next civil war. That it will be the next civil war that will develop in Liberia, and it is this land ownership issue. I know there was a land commission established. People are still jumping in people's property because they feel they can do it and do construction. All of this.
You take it to our law, which is no use. It drags you on and on. I know there are laws we have concerning ownership and 20 years, squatters' rights, and all of those things. But this is not a rocket science situation. Is the legislature involved in any way in solving this particular problem in Liberia?
Thank you. It is interesting that the court will probate a deed,
Yeah.
for something covered for a particular spot, and somebody else will bring another deed for that same spot, and the court will probate it. The reason we don't have the system to determine which plot of land has been probated and deeded to somebody, so that by the time you come with a deed on that same plot or for that same plot, they just need to plug it in the system. When they're registering the new deed, they will know that it has been registered before. Right? We don't have any of such system in place. Then it drags on and almost forever for the civil law court to dispose of one land case. People got to fight, kill one another, and cause chaos before government's attention is drawn to it. We have the Land Reform Commission. I can admit that I have not taken time and keen interest in that area. But now bring it to our attention. When we return in January, we will place some light on it.
Thank you.
And we'll look in that direction so we can get a clear understanding as to how legislative involvement can help the situation.
Thank you. Ms. Smith, you got 20 minutes.
All right. Senator Dillon, welcome. Thank you for coming. Concerning the CPP, we all are pretty much aware that the country right now is in really dire situation, and we recognize that we need change of leadership. So the CPP, my question is, are they going to come to be a coalition, move from that collaboration stage to be a coalition to take on the CDC? And if they are not going to hold, because I was against joining that CPP just because my own opinions, there are people that created like the Unity Party that even created some of the chaos we are seeing today that's being passed down. And I had it's my own opinion. So, but the CPP was formed anyway. So if they are not going to hold, do you as Liberty Party see your party maybe joining another party to be 2-2? And another question, just to grab two of them together. I know you were a part of COP. Okay, that before before your election, so I really haven't followed whether, but the COP, which is the citizens of Liberia, basically calling on the president to step down because they've asked him to fix the situation and he hasn't. So they're asking him now to step down. So if they move into this protest December 30th, and let's say out of the blues, a miracle happened, George, we are step out. What is the plan? Who's going to fall into cover all the things that are going to be happening? Are we talking about going to trusteeship? Are we going to leave a vacuum? Like how, for example, America went to Iraq and when Saddam Hussein fell, nobody knew what to do then? Or is the vice president coming in? And if she's coming in, isn't she part of the problem right now? That's my question.
There's one of the brilliant questions that I ever listened to. Yeah.
Yeah. CPP. collaborating political parties. If you are here and a part of the CPP, stop fussing among yourself. You are not helping.
Exactly.
Stop it now. When we gave birth to the CPP, we did not do so feeling, believing that any particular person had been ordained to head the CPP. If you are from Unity Party, stop making CPP about it must be Joseph Boakai. We didn't come together to make Joseph Boakai president. If you're from the ANC, stop it already. We didn't come together that it must be Cummins or nobody else. Stop it. If you're Liberty Party like me, we didn't come together to make Nyombi Kanga Lawrence president. For ALP, it's not about Benina, you must be. We came together to put our resources together, our strength, our number, to espouse to certain principles, values, see things with one goal, put in together a framework and ground rules, and open the space for those qualified to compete and contest, and you who win, you are our candidate. And we see it in our life with our brother. Does that make sense? Yes. You see, coming together is one thing that raises the hope. But coming together, just to come together to remove George Weah, this we must be careful. We didn't want a third term, Unity Party third term, no. So anything in the name of no Unity Party third term may all carry George Weah. If we just want to move George Weah to come do the same thing or worse, coming already. If our coming together is to take advantage of our strength and numbers just to win an election and do the same thing or worse, count me out of it. Start counting yourself out of it because it will hurt the situation more. We want to come together because there's strength in numbers. We want to unite the numbers, but with a goal, constructive, visionary goal that will take this country from where it is now to a height that we want. CPP, we have completed the draft of the framework. We're in the completion stage to sign. We change it from collaborating political parties to alliance. Now, under this alliance, each party remains independent. Meaning, don't see Boakai trying to grow UP, then you in ANC, you vest. Go grow ANC. Don't see Cummins growing ANC, then you in UP or Liberty Party, then you vest. Go grow your party. So when the time comes for us to sit on the table to determine what is what, you can come to with a position of strength to the table. Just because we are collaborating has not stopped any party from independently operating. So there are times you see ANC issue statement on national issue as ANC. Liberty Party does the same. Each of the parties do the same. Or does. But there are times where we issue joint statement, one statement on the CPP umbrella. It is God first, our people support, your support that got us senator. We pulled the numbers together. CDC has been the singular biggest political party, one we all splintered. You know, it was interesting. During the 2017 election, Charles Bronski could not speak to Joseph Boakai. Boakai was not speaking to Ure. Cummins was supposed to be the new guy on the block. Nobody wanted to see. Charles Bronski didn't tell me that he and Boakai been friends. So I was fighting Boakai, so not disrespectfully. Boakai didn't tell UP people that he and Charles Bronski could eat from the same pan long time down the line. So the UP people were fighting Bronski and saying all sorts of nasty things. When George Weah landed in a runoff, then Charles Bronski, Boaка, Uwe, and Cummings sat down on the same table and started telling us how they were coming from the old road together and in Jogweta and Smart Road. So, but gentlemen, y'all know one another were fighting like that? And we could come together on the same table to find one ticket, George Weah won't be president. Why do you guys do this thing to the country all the time? It must be you or somebody incompetent or no idea but take it so you feel good that none of you. So one day I told them, I said, you see, they said George Weah is not smart, he's not educated. That he the one when he passes when he comes, but all your educated people got to pack until he pass. What's the value of your education if you can't use it wisely for the benefit of the people in the country? The ego, the selfishness, the greed, the pride, put it down. One person can be president at a time. Liberia is over 170 years old. We have had 25 presidents. Because everybody can be president at the same time. There will always be one. In the interest of the country and the people, there must be times where we got to suppress our personal and aspiration and look at the greater good. Has the better shot at winning, but to govern in a way that we always say we are in a country together. For me and for us, that's what the CPP should be about. And that's what we're fighting for it to be about. Now, not anybody could beat George Weah in Montserrat, even if we all came together. Just because we come together, just anybody can win. If it didn't allow, we came together, we won Kidman, we didn't win. So just coming together is not automatic victory. Since we won in Montserrat, apparently some people think that, oh, once we come together, we would automatically win. So everybody plays in a set already. That's the problem we have. Let's reduce the ego, greed, or arrogance and all that stuff. Let's do it about the people in the country. COP, the Council of Patriots. Thank God for the COP. The Council of Patriots woke even the political parties up in the country. And on the COP and for June 7, what happened in Liberia, I gave Costa thumbs up. Henry Costa. Yes. Whether people like him for some of the things he does and how sometimes he says it, but Costa sacrificed for all of us. Not many persons can get on a plane to go into dangerous waters to challenge a popular, powerful George Weah, who the security people themselves are not taking pay, but they prepare to fight for George Weah, especially against the law. Aaron Costa came and said, George Weah is not listening to this country. He's not listening to anybody. We got to stand up. And hence June 7th, December 30th that is coming, the people will decide. Article 1 of the Constitution says, all power is inherent in the people. Governments are instituted for their good, for their benefit. And whenever their happiness and safety so desire, when they so desire that their happiness and safety is at stake, they can petition the government. Let me state this. Asking a president to resign is not unconstitutional. In the Constitution, vacancy can be created in the office of president by virtue or reason of resignation, death, impeachment, incapacitation, or otherwise. Resignation is written in the Constitution as one of the reasons there can be vacancies in the office of president. You can ask a president to resign. It's constitutional. The president can choose to resign or not. December 30th, the Liberian people... 2014, I was sitting by Ellen as president. I saw her doing Ebola, going to her Minister of Health house to join him in his birthday party. People were dying. Government was playing lukewarm attitude toward the fight against Ebola. I was sitting by Ellen. I was a small member of her kitchen cabinet. I boldly made a public statement to Ellen to lead or quit. The country needed leadership. And she came, I had to one small glass of wine that I wanted to put. I said, no, that small wine, why you are drinking it, somebody was dying. Because you were not exercising leadership. Ellen did not want to quit. So she started to lead. If the people want George Weah to come down on December 30th, it is their right to do so. If George Weah doesn't want to come down, he better start leading now. Country needs leadership. The country needs leadership. During 2017 election, some of you probably heard it. Our people turned their national issues to beauty passion. Some people said they would not vote for Bronsky because he's running Midnight Farm. They say, oh, how does he come with the Midnight Farm? Yeah, you know, we got one gentleman in Liberia. He's not very beautiful, Hamson, so they call him Samagwan. They say, Bronsky running Midnight Samagwan, meaning he's not farm. But we have president who is well built, well structured, and very handsome. He can even win Mr. Gentleman. Our vice president, Joel, the woman is very beautiful. She can win Miss World, but the economy is in the toilet. It's not the facial beauty. It is what's up here. If George Weah stepped down, the constitutional flow should take place. Joel is there. If two of them decide to go together, it's even better. Because the Constitution says in order for constitutional flow, the Speaker will hold on as acting president and will hold election in 90 days. So you see, the same thing Costa said. And you see, Jorobo was a person. Jorobo is the chloroquine. Better, but it heals. Some poison very sweet, but slowly kills you. Eventually you will die. If George Weah and Joel have to go for buffer chamber to hold on only for 90 days and keep on the constitution, that's Jorobo there. That's Jorobo. It's better, but it will heal. Long-term healing. Yeah?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me say this to you. I mean, I don't know what's going on with your phone, but you can upgrade your phone to a better phone. If you're using Metro PC phone, that might be the problem. You can upgrade to like T-Mobile or Verizon or Sprint. But if not, I cannot help you. Thank you.
The question that I have is related to leadership and related to the protest that's coming up. A few months ago, the international community was heartbroken when those police officers went to that school and abused those high school students. Okay, we saw it, I cried. We prayed for that school and those students in this very community. I want to know, that is a terrible message to send to the children of Liberia, to the world, that the very structure that is supposed to protect them is the very one to abuse for whatever reason. What is the Senate, the legislature, doing about that? About the repercussion, to send a strong message that there are citizens, this is unacceptable.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you can send money in our cash app, I'll cut the video. Please make a donation for our project. The people send it back home. If not, we'll cut the video off now. The cash app number is there. You can make a donation as you watch. If not, I get your 5 minutes, I'll cut it off.
On one hand, because that was wrong then, and it should be condemned. That message was just bad. Something happened recently. Students got in the street to protest for their teachers' pay so their teachers can come back to class to teach them. Public school students got in to protest for the teachers' pay so the teachers can come to teach them. Some group of people decided to make the image even so bad for the government, and they put that video up from yesterday. It didn't happen on the media.
Yes, thanks for clarifying.
At no point in time we should brutalize our students. In fact, brutalize anybody for that matter. Yeah, that picture was bad. It happened yesterday. Under the early administration, we condemned it. Ellen constituted a committee headed by Councilor Tier 1 Gonglo. I remember that very well. And he made recommendations, and Ellen did not have the courage to even implement it. So to date, I don't remember on the record that anybody in the police hurricane got punished for that act. It was just wrong. I just want to clarify that video came from the early administration of that day.
Thank you very much. Before the next question, we have a bunch of keys here. Anybody recognizes this? Okay, just in case you don't recognize it now, I'm sure before you go, you'll come to it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you very much for watching. Just stay there and share the video. We do appreciate your time and effort watching this broadcast, bringing it to you live from Detroit, Michigan. My name is Octavius Gilman.
Good evening, Senator. You like me, I just returned from back home. Also voted for you. I was in Liberia, we mobilized for you. We have a very serious issue in Liberia. The whole political country. The only way you can thrive in Liberia or survive in Liberia is to hold political office. And no country can move forward in that manner. I am a businessman. I do business in Liberia. I now live practically in Liberia. I've been in Liberia for the past 1 year. Just returned. The business climate in Liberia is businesses. And there seems to be no help from anybody, be it the executive or the legislature. I'm aware that you're just coming, but those that were there before, and you just coming, we've done everything we can. Until we create Liberian wealth, we win anyway. If all the people here were to return to Liberia today, you got a job for them. Our economy is constantly in the hands of foreigners. We prefer to do business with with foreigners than with our own people. The vehicle you drive, you didn't buy it from a Liberian business. As a matter of fact, when it came time for businesses to be vetted to provide vehicles for the legislature and other places, only 3 companies were considered: GBK Motor, Prestige Motor, and Alliance Motor. Africa Motor. Not a single Liberian institution was considered. We ship goods to Liberia, we pay taxes, they use that money to buy from foreigners. In other words, a direct transfer of wealth from Liberians to foreigners. Even the things you use in the house, you buy from foreigners. Your stationery, everything you buy from foreigners. Even the poor people here who ship their goods to Liberia, when they don't pay their taxes, or when the taxes are increased, their goods are confiscated at the port, auctioned, and they come back, they never go back. The economy is in the toilet right now because we're not shipping. I used to ship on average 8 to 10 containers every year. 2019, I shipped 0. Last year, I shipped 2. Next year, maybe I'll ship 1. This is a serious matter. We're going to go anywhere. Our intake is from the port of Monrovia. And the biggest taxpayers in Liberia is not the Firestone, it's not the Lone Star. It's all the people that here that ship 1 containers. In aggregate, it's more than everything Firestone will ever ship. Yet we don't respect them. We don't treat them with dignity. We don't support Liberian businesses. So my question to you is, with all of this in mind, I just left from Liberia. I go days, I don't even make $100. As big as my business is. And I don't see any sign that things are going to improve. They look dire.
It's not just me. When I come to this country, people value my opinion. People call me and ask me how's Liberia, because they want to ship a container or two there. I wouldn't lie to them. I would tell them the truth, and then they will not ship. And then we'll continue over and over and over. All we hear all day is politics. What are we doing about Liberian businesses, about the economy? What kind of bill are we putting in place to stop the bleeding that's going on right now? We're not shipping anything. And it's going to get worse. There's nothing as far as I can see it. I can see in sight. I'm very worried. I work in this country. I took my money from here, invested in Liberia. A lot of people want to do the same thing. But when they see what happened to somebody like me, they get cold feet. Until everyone also can run for Senate. Or we all run to be ministers. Because we all have the credentials. But we all cannot work in government. So we have to create the opportunity for the private sector to strive. We have not done that in the past. We are not doing that now. Nobody is standing up for Liberian businesses. Like I said, I supported you. I support the stand you've taken. I admire you when you refuse to go sleep in the Farmington Hotel when you can get drive 45 miles to go to Habel. But we need to do more. So what kind of bill or what kind of step are you going to take? And probably get people around that will try to help Liberian businesses, that will reassure people that are here for them to start shipping and continue to buy home to alleviate our problem. Thank you.
Thank you. That is a very major concern. You see, we have laws on the books. Our lack of will to implement the law can cause either the law to appear to be weak or non-existent. Like you talk about involving Liberians in the economy. We have a law that restricts 26 businesses only to Liberians. 26 businesses that foreigners should not get involved with. But the foreigners even selling cold water. As if to say the law is not on the book. The man comes, open a store, wholesale store, and then he's selling retail in a store. The law is on the book. But there's no coverage to, and when you go for that man, especially when you honor man, you go for that man, one telephone call will for them. And if you are a big man and you want to stand up to say that man is in violation of the law, you will be shocked to see your fellow big men getting very you. As a result, everything almost remains the same. And the only reason why it happens is because you don't have more people with character over national issues. It will find them. The reason politics is attractive in Liberia because the power that comes with it, the incentive, financial incentive that comes with it, it will reduce and cut it down to the bare minimum. We'll see who really want to be in politics. We got to place focus and emphasis on other vocations and make them attractive. In Liberia, a comedian is viewed as a comedy is a vocation. They got millionaires or comedians in this country who are millionaires. We don't know what comedy does. But if you decided to make comedy a vocation, you are only important on stage. And if you say you have a comedy show, $5 to enter, you will not find a hallback. People think it is waste of their money to even sponsor or support that kind of show. And if they get to a program where you are doing comedy, they laugh, they enjoy it. And by the time you get outside the next day on Monday, you see that man, I see you at a joker. They don't know that it is a vocation. The man who's driving a taxi believes he's not working because he's not in government. We are not placing value and adding incentive on these vocations. So people think they are. We reach to a point, my brother, where most Liberians, or let me be safe to say, good number of Liberians who I know, they believe that their education is nothing if they're not in government. Some people going to school purposely to have paper to be in government. George Weah went to college only to be president.
Yes.
Dala? No. Because in the Liberian man's mind, paper alone are education. The economy should be in the hands of Liberians. But in order for that to happen, the leadership of the country, those responsible, should, in the budget, we have about $30 million for cars. Say under the early administration, we agreed on a policy. When I mean I was not in policy making this position, but as a country, we agreed that government money will not go on the purchase of a used car. So even if that car was a 2019 model car, but it has some issues and classified as used car, government money will pay for it. So brand new. And every government agency, institution will purchase cars every year. So we spend about $10-15 million US every year on the purchase of cars, and we're paying. Now one Liberian millionaire was made from that sector. Every year we go to GBK Motor, we go to Prestige, go to Africa Motor to go buy a car or to go put in for cars, and then we pay all that money to them. Then they order new cars and send the profit to the place they're coming from. But and sometimes government does pre-financing. So why don't you pre-finance one Liberian company so they can use that very pre-finance money you use for them to import the cars that government's supposed to have? Then you're creating millionaires, Liberian millionaires from the resources of the country and through the budget. But we won't cut. The procurement man won't cut. The party that's supposed to ratify certain agreement, they want to know what is that for us. Let me state it here on the camera. We pass a budget and 95% of the lawmakers don't know what in the budget. The only thing they know there, what's in there for us. What's in there for us? Ask some of us for what bill your pass or ratification on the concession. What there for social development for the well-being of the people? Nothing. How long can we keep whining, crying, and complaining when we are the ones? It's not the white man who running our government. It's not foreigner. We even, including myself, passed a dual citizenship bill to allow Liberians to enjoy the citizenship of other countries and maintaining their Liberian citizenship with some restriction on certain position, political position, because we say we want to protect the national interest. So it's not foreigners doing it. It is us. We doing it to our fellow Liberians. We in position of trust do bidding and award it to foreigners and then pre-finance. Under the Judy Pryor administration, 3 Nigerians put together their own little company and they came with a proposal and we leased 1 block of oil And what your block 13.
Yes.
We lease it because you don't sell it. We lease it to them. 3 of them. They the letter of intent, the LOR that the government gave them, and they went and sold $20 million and gave it to the Judy Bryant government for them to have some rights over all Block 13. They used their lease over Block 13 and sold and negotiated with ExxonMobil and another company and they walked away with over $100 million. Those guys came with no money. But, of course, you know, during that kind of transaction, the government agencies and people responsible to give approval, they want to know how much they're for. For $10,000 US, a public official can authorize the sale or hiring of something that, if properly done, we have seen $5 to $10 million for the benefit of the country and the people. Just give them $10,000 or $15,000 for themselves. So I come here not to make promise that when I go home, the port will be open. But let's review these things. Please join my office. Thankfully, you voted for me. I want to thank you. Join us. Let's do it together. Let the business association, the business people, or something, and let's come to the office and say, these are the issues we want you to represent our interests on in plenary. When I was a staff in the Senate, okay, let me start with our chief of staff to the speaker. As chief of staff to the speaker, I'm the first of all the employees in the building. I'm making $480 US. Almost 2,000 employees. I'm the chief. I'm making $480 US every month. So then you just imagine down the ladder how much other people were making. People were there making $27 US a month. $27 US a month. So we decided to move around to say, please consider the plight of the employees. Increase their incentive. Interestingly, each lawmaker you meet, he said, oh, that's my one business, that will be all right. We increase it. Left to me, we increase it. So there are 30 senators. Each of the 30 senators say, left to my one, everything will be all right. So it means we believe that if they all come together, nobody will oppose, right?
Yes.
So the 30 senators, everybody individually said they will be okay to fight for us. So they come from session and they say plenary change the decision. So I'm asking, but who is plenary? That is Dex and the chair or that you? How each of you say you will fight for us, it means that we're supposed to get a unanimous 30 vote. How you move on and say plenary change the decision? Plenary is a different group of people? That you. So engage us so that plenary can change the decision, but we must be majority. We must be in the majority to do it. The last 1 month, when I became senator, I asked my colleagues in the Senate, let's summon the Minister of Education. The hike in tuition, in my view, is unreasonable, not justified. Let's summon the Minister of Education. There were some people of the view that government does not have control over private school. So private school can get out and charge any amount. I said no. I thought otherwise. And my stand was informed. When you, by law, have the authority to grant somebody a right to operate, you have some regulatory power and authority over that institution. The Minister of Education has the authority to grant license for schools to operate, whether it's private or public schools. The Minister of Education is authorized every year to approve activities of all schools in Liberia before they operate. So the Minister of Education cannot tell me that Dillon High School last year, first grade, school fees were $100. And this academic year, Dillon High School, first grade, the school fee is now $500. What informed the hike? Did that school add value? Did you build a library that you didn't have? Did you employ quality teachers? Are you increasing teacher pay? Did you add computers for computer education? Did you add value? What informed from $100 to what made the minister just go approve it? Then we also found out that the minister had private school. So he the first to approve his school in a private school, and he got no courage of standing now to question other people. Conflict of interest. And now you ask the president to remove that man. Georgia would think to remove that man means he's weak. We don't understand that good leadership is to act when it's appropriate to act. It doesn't make you weak. So our people are dying. They're not part of the economy. Our president made a speech and said, you will not be spectator. It was better you remain spectator because right now you're outside the stadium when you spectator. It means when you spectator, it means you're inside the stadium and watching the game. I think you can feel some of that excitement. But now you're not even spectator again because you're outside the stadium. Let's do it together so we can help our. Let the business association come to the Capitol building or invite us to meet with you folks and let them clearly what need to be done together so we can make the case for us. I want to see the senator in plenary who will say he's not going to support a Liberian business. I want to see in plenary. I just want to see it. I just want to see it. But thankfully, you voted for us. You believe in us. We are praying to God not to fail you. Because to fail you will hurt the country. Some people are believing again because of the little we are doing to keep their hope alive. And little can make big. And so we'll fight to keep the hope alive so that people can start to believe again. Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know time is fast spent. We wish today was Friday night or Saturday night. We'll stay here for as long as we want to stay. But the senator has a 9 o'clock teleconference that he has to be at. And I'm sure all of you want to eat or taste something before you go. So we'll entertain just one more question. Just one more question. And that will come from our honorable board chair.
Thank you. Mr. Senator, you know, growing up in Liberia as a young girl, I always had a special place in my family's heart, especially Dad. And now when I look at television, or look at pictures, or look at the internet and see the young women, I don't see any hope in their faces. And my question was, a lot of the young women we always see on the internet, I know it's not a lie, some of them are raped by uncles, friends, or people that are close to them. What kind of program that you have in place, or what kind of procedure you have in place for people that rape young women to prosecute them?
Well, you know, honestly, that's a tough one. It's tough because it boils down to the same thing. Sometimes I can be very long in explaining because I want people to understand where we come from and how we can get out of where we are. In 2004, I was special assistant to the Solicitor General at the Ministry of Justice. The women of Liberia came together and to honor the Association of Female, the Lawyers Association. Every morning you woke up, you heard the pastor rape or the other person rape, they raped this child. And it appeared to us that people were raping because the law was weak. So the women came together and pressured us at the Ministry of Justice to increase the punishment for rape and make it non-bailable. So we thought the higher the punishment, the lower the commission of the crime. But we were mistaken that the law on the book was not weak, but our lack of will and courage to implement what was written made it appear as though what was written was either weak or non-existent. In our rape not available, we went into another territory to violate people's rights. There are people in jail at Central Prison for as long as 4 or 5 years on allegation of rape because it's not available, so they can't come outside. We do not even have the technology to determine whether it is Darius Dillon who raped somebody. A woman just need to come and say that Darius Dillon raped me last night. Darius Dillon going to jail and no bail bond. And no bail bond. So in our attempt to fight reduction of a crime, we created another problem by violating people's rights. So sometimes we got to be careful as to how we go about these things. Rape is a crime. I believe it is devilish. Only heartless, soulless men will consciously take out their saber to hide somebody, especially the children. Only men of no character, no self-esteem, even if it is not a child, even an elderly woman who can give consent and you rape her, you are spineless and you do not have conscience. But those are the moral aspect of it. What is the law doing? We have one court to see about rape issues. What is, we do not have the technology to determine what we call the specimen, to determine the D or do DNA, all those stuff, to determine whether it is this person who committed this act. So you are in jail and after 2, 3 years, 4 years, when they go through the case, it wasn't you, 4 years of your life gone, and you live with a stigma. Because not many persons will hear that you were acquitted. Sometimes when the case comes up and you are accused, especially if you are a politically exposed person, you live with that stigma for the remainder of your life. But that's beside. We also have the issue of people not reporting rape cases, either out of shame or out of financial consideration. The parent will settle down for financial consideration, but you have hide the future of a child. Because sometimes the rape can result to damage of the children's womb and they can't produce any longer in life. What do we need to do? Is to continue fighting to upgrade our system, our justice system. The justice system in Liberia is just poor. It's poor for almost anything. And if then, it is not the result of the cabinet general removal, especially under the George Weah administration, has also contributed where men and women of courage can be seen in the judiciary. Because we have a saying that I'm sure all of us know about, that a man with hunchback can go see how they bury his friend with hunchback. Justice knows what kind of trial he presided over to remove one of his colleagues. You think John Weah will not get anything he wanted out of the Chief Justice? The Chief Justice doesn't want to go like Cabinet Janet. And to remove a member of the Supreme Court bench is tedious through an impeachment trial. To remove a magistrate, that's 30 seconds. So if a politician with power wants something done, he can free somebody who's alleged to have raped. A political call can free that person, even though that person has hurt the future of another human being. The justice system is poor, it needs cleansing, reform, and it can only take courage. In closing, since this was the last question, somebody asked about leadership. Look, there's something, Liberia, it is my view, we are not lacking in capacity. What Liberia lacks today is the symbolism of leadership. We have a president, well loved, middle age, an asset that Ellen didn't have. So that even George Weah is loved. The man is so loved that his people can be hungry out of his recklessness and they can still wait to clap for him. That asset is tangible that Ellen didn't have. In 1 year, on Ellen's first term, in 1 year, Ellen had repaved 60 kilometers of road to make Monrovia, Central Monrovia, to look there somewhere again. In 1 year, under George Weah, he paved less than 10 mile road. They say he's the best thing that ever happened to the country. The people love him until any small thing he does, they amplify it because they want him to look like he's done the biggest thing. Now, here is a president, young at the age of 53, gets up Saturday and Sunday morning to go practice football, old-timer football. This is the same president who gets up Monday to Friday, 9:30, 10, and goes to work at 11 and leave from there 3. How would the country wake up? If George Weah, with his popularity and love, woke up 6:30 and is in office at 7 and said, I will punish those who honor my authority, who are not in office at 7, the country will start to wake up because the leader is leading.
Yeah, William Arato did it.
If John Weah as president, instead of waiting for people to come to him everywhere he is and worshiping him, if John Weah made a policy that nobody come to me, especially on Friday, I'm going on my farm, I want to hear you on your farm, the country will wake up to small guidance. The symbolism of leadership. But the man is not listening. The way the country is in economic issues, if George Weah said tomorrow morning, spoke to the country from his heart, and said, look, we started off on a wrong footing. Enough is enough. I think our people hide and we know what's happening. I'm going to start with myself. I'm reducing SYC things I was doing, including not flying private jet. I'm going to reduce, if I have to travel, it must be extremely important for the benefit of the people. I will reduce the size of my delegation just for austerity measures to help some kind of way. But as we speak, the president is in Paris. Wow. To do what? To sit down with Macron for them to observe 100 years of World War II. What is not talking How many persons did he carry? Not less than 20. Not less than 20. The gentleman is just something else. In his head, he's president of CDC for the satisfaction of few seditious, and bulk of the seditious are getting harder. They're only defending him now out of Jaffe and shame. Because they really thought this guy was all to it, that by the time he became president, there's a magic wand that he would get waved and everything will come. George Weah cabinet members don't have any serious number in the phone for any serious international institution. Show me George Weah cabinet members who are classmates at the World Bank or IMF or some serious institution. Show me a classmate I get from in the White House. The country, when Ellen became president, Anthony Sayed could not just lay anything on Ellen's desk about financial matters or finance ministry. Ellen walked through finance ministry, from cadet to assistant minister to deputy to minister. So Amara Kone or Gafwan or Anthony Sayed could not just lay anything on her desk and she just accepted it. She will make input. In the case of George Weah, He know any serious thing. So any jargon you use, economic jargon, Samuel 12:10, he like it. You have a president who does not have personal, authoritative, or knowledge on any critical sector. He can sit down and preside over judicial reform. He can make input. How to revive or to lift the agricultural sector? Nothing. You will hear them say agriculture is a bedrock of a society. Look, when people serious, you can know. For almost 2 months, no agricultural minister. No agricultural minister. And sorry if you are a citizen here or watching. Pro strong is not a vision. It's not plan. It's a slogan. Muya muya is not vision. It's not plan. That slogan, it can't develop a country. This president will succeed. Maybe God can answer that prayer or he will answer it. Citizens praying for John Ware to succeed. So the man is personally succeeding. He built for the non-union that he couldn't build for himself before. He paved the road to a house that he could not do. So he's succeeding himself, personally. But the country is dying because they're not praying for the country to succeed. They're praying for John Ware personal happiness. We too in the opposition, we have a role to play in national governance. Whether we are in government or not. We got to be constructive with our criticism and provide and proper constructive suggestions. The difficulty we have is that the government is not listening. Ellis Cummings provided a roadmap on reviving the economy. The official response from the executive mansion was, go sell Coca-Cola. Go sell Coca-Cola. Official response. Because when the presidential spokesperson responds to a political leader who has provided suggestions on what to do or how to do it, and the official response is not only spoken but written and put on the executive mansion website, then it's an official response. Charles Bronski, like him or not, the man is a legal scholar. He gave a scholarly advice on why they should not remove Cabinet General. The government official response was he should go play Kesawa and eat Domo in Gambazo country. When George Weah became president, I have never heard, even in my modern understanding of these basic things, I never heard a country borrow money from an individual. George Weah decided that he will borrow money from Eton and Igbo Maf. Those people are not internationally known. Nobody knows where they are. But when we say, hey, Mr. President, please, don't do it to the country. It will hurt us. What was the response? They call us enemy of the state. How can we contribute from the opposition standpoint? We are prepared to cooperate for our common good, but the government is not listening. That is why the Council of Patriots got popular support, because the only language George Weah can understand is protest. It's protest. And then they panic at the mention of the word protest. Look, protest does not drive investors away from a country. Nobody will put us under that impression. CDC protested for 12 years almost every day. They were toting cascade against Ellen when Total, one of the biggest 500 Fortune companies, went to Liberia to invest and build almost 300 to 500 filling stations across the country and employ people to still there. CDC was protesting. CDC was protesting and throwing stones when China Union went to invest. ArcelorMittal, these companies, they are there, but even though they're scaling down now because the government over the country is poor, but on early they were there. CDC were protesting. How government responds to people's protest needs or the people's petition is what determines whether the investor will come here. It's not opposition that driving investors from the country. Opposition is not a report. It's George Weah's best friend, Bill Twagway. He's there. It's not opposition that can be seen in photo I have never seen a country where when somebody go explore the possibility of investing, you got to go see the president and take a picture with him. What's that? You got to go to the party headquarters and see Moba Molu, and then they take a picture, they carry you to Bolivar Hotel and EU. When you leave the country, you go back. You go back. That's not opposition. It's not opposition. It's not opposition. We are playing our role, and I believe we're playing it constructively. Look, if we were not talking, just talking, it would have been worse. Imagine we're talking and we let it. Imagine we're talking and we let this. If we weren't talking, it would be worse. Now, in closing, I protested against Ellen. I was a vocal critic of Ellen until at the tail end of her first term, I chose to give her an opportunity for a second term, because I believe Ellen's first term was far better than the second term that she left us. And because of the work she did in her first term, it was in good conscience for that anybody would support Ellen to say she built a foundation, the opportunity to take it to roof level, so that it will be strong enough for another person to just come carry it to a better place. Unfortunately, in her second term, she dropped the ball. She dropped the ball so bad that the people who Bromsky was on the ballot. Cummings was on the ballot. Buaka was on the ballot. We ended up with George Weah. It says a lot about the country. When the people lose faith in the people who they believe could take them from where they are, they can go settle for anything. They can go settle for anything. But George Weah becoming president at this time, it is my view, is divine. This gentleman must be president was a ring hanging over the country. Yes. Let George Weah business must be president, move on in the system, and move on that small. The CDC diaspora base, they get energy to be accurate. The CDC local base, the only traffic making supposed to accurate because there's something we call yakba. Yakba. When they say yakba intern mean hard time and not easy. My mom always told me, say, don't tell people that they're hungry, especially if they don't want to hear it from you. Even though they're hungry, but they felt that you told them. My mom said it's always good to wait for people to announce that they're hungry, because nobody ordinarily says I'm hungry. They emphasize, I'm too hungry, I'm damn hungry. Well, you must know when you read that point and there's zero. Yeah, for the self to announce it with emphasis. Plenty when George Weah became president, you used to hear 12 years, 24 years, in fact forever. In fact, they're crying for 6 years to feel hungry. Then they start saying they're too hungry. So now he said, I don't want one, that 12 years you will talk. They start praying for the 6 years to just come move from there so they can win. Detroit, thank you. You've been so kind to me. You've been so kind to me and kind to all of us together. Trust me, I am our senator. My phone, my line,